Have to deal with the fan because the weather is insanely hot here where I live. Okay? So, apologies in advance for that. This video is about Prism. This is Prism. It's a sequencer. Reminds me of the electron type stuff. If you like the Drombo type stuff, if you like a little bit of all of that, right? Kind of mixed in. And any other probably sequencer you've ever used. I'm going to grab my mouse real quick and I'll show you what I know so far about it. That's pretty cool. All right, there we go. So you have 16 tracks. These are the tracks, which correspond to MIDI, right? Because it's a MIDI sequencer. So what I mean by that is if you're in here, you're going to have to click and assign it to MIDI. So if you assign them all to all the MIDIs, then it will just, all the sequences will run through your one device. So you want to make sure, like I have 3 is my chords or my piano or keys. 2 is for this shaker or shaker as they call it. And then the barista one, barista, I might be saying that wrong. But anyway, that one's on 1. Right? So if you have them assigned, then each one of these tracks corresponds to those. Okay? So I'm going to show you something cool I just learned too, but let's show you some basics. Here's your sequencer. Each one of these is a trigger, right? And if you hold it down, you can adjust the swing, the chance, the length of that note, and the velocity, and how often. Try to, I'm going to have to hold it with my hand because I can show you. So here, but then you can also change it to how often it's going to play. If you leave it on 1 dot, it's every. If you put it on 2, it means it's going to play the first time, but the second time it won't. So on and so forth. If you have it here, it won't play the first time, it'll play only the second. And then you guys can figure it out from there. It's pretty simple. Chance, you just tell the, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I think this one's C. Okay, so yeah, if whatever you touch over here, if I touch that and then touch here, it's gonna change it to that note. It's the last note that you touch that it does. Now, if you want to put multiple notes on one, then you hold this down here. Gotta take my hand off the mic. Sorry about that. And then you touch whichever ones you want to touch. See, and then it puts up to 8 in there. You want to remove them? Just click it and remove it. It's pretty simple. The length is here. You can also adjust the length this way. Or you can, I think you can adjust it here too, yeah. Okay, and velocity, same principle. If you want to change the velocity of each one. This over here allows you to move up and down this to the next chords. So in other words, you see how this says C3? When you're in the middle, that's C3. It's like middle C, right? And then you keep going up or you can go down. It's up to you. This thing has 3 settings. I can't say I know what that means just yet. But you see how these little points on the end? If you see that on one of these, then it means it has 3 pages. I don't know what this page is for. I don't understand what the ones and all that is. I don't know if that means the octaves. I'm not going to mess with it right now. This is like the pattern, the sequence bars. So how far it's going to go out and where it sequences. But if you only have 1 bar, then what's the point of worrying about that, right? And then the S represents, and it tells you over here, represents the scenes. So each scene could have 16 tracks, I guess, per scene that you could have up to. And then each pattern, the same principle, could have the 16 tracks in one pattern playing. And then the patterns bars, so let me show you the bar portion. I think is it here? It's down here. So this little hurricane looking symbol, that's what I call it, has 3. You notice that you can move between them. So some of the commands are on this first one, like moving octaves and stuff for your sequence options. There's a slicer, chord blocks, sequence clear. So if you want to, this is important. If you want to clear a sequence because you don't like it, you just hold this button down and it'll do it. There's some trig overlap stuff that you got going on here. The quantize if you need to. I'm mess with some of this stuff, to be honest with you. And this one's important. So here you have, how long the note's going to be, right? But this is down here. You can set the bars. So if I set the bars, you'll see now I'm down to up to 2 bars. This is 1 bar. This is 2nd bar. Go back to 1. And all of that's your bar, right? 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars. I did ask about getting an undo, but he says that it's kind of not necessary. Once you understand everything, you don't really need an undo. I'm not going to say anything else about that. All right. I'm different. I need undo. I will mess something up not knowing what I'm doing. And a lot of this stuff I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to take me forever to learn this. This is not easiest thing I've ever seen. Okay, so we'll go back. Because if you switch this, so I wanted to talk about this. So this is a 16th, right? Represented here. If you switch it to 8, then it's only going to give you an 1/8 of a bar. If you switch it to 4, it's going to be a 1/4 of a bar. So you can see it's changing the amount of steps per pad. So here's a 16. I don't know why he didn't put a 32nd on there, because usually people want, like, if you want to do some ratchet hats or something like that. But I guess because you could, I don't know why it ain't on there, I'll be honest with you. And I don't know what this one does. Oh, there is a help in here. I know it's somewhere around here, but I'll have to look for it. Okay, follow. I don't know what follow means. So I'm learning, right? There's a lot of stuff I don't know what it means. That's what I can tell you up front. I do know that much about it. There is a record, so that means you can play in things. And then this is stop, and then there's your pause. There is abilities to copy, and I think that's copying tracks, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But I want to show you something cool that I found out. So watch this. So you see, here's my chords, right? So I wanted to use what you guys heard me talking about, suggester, because I don't like trying to play chords on a little 16 pad bar. It's just not for me. But what I found out was you can press this, say that chord there, and watch right here. These will change to represent the notes. I'm gonna change it here. See, it changed. Now, one of the things I'd like to do is turn up the timing and the velocity, leave it there. Now I'll play it. So this is one of the things that bothers me about this is individually I should be able to change each one of these notes. And maybe there is a way, but I haven't figured it out, because I don't want my velocity to be the same on every note. And so I don't know if, for instance, I go, see, as soon as I press something else, it's going to change. But what I want to be able to do is just adjust per note, because if it's not going to, if you're step sequencing in something, you're not playing the velocity in, then it feel like it should be able to adjust. And right now it's just adjusting everything. So I don't think I like that. I want to be able to adjust per note. But what's cool is, like I was saying, you can click this, and now if you click here, it's gonna put in, this is a 16th, like a bar basically, because I set this to 4 bars. So now that's there. Then if I click this one, then if I clicked here, it's gonna put these notes in, and it keeps, and so on and so forth. So now listen to this. See how it's following? So you see how it's, I'm setting in the 4 bar. Then if we went in, let's just add in one more, let's add in one more chord. What was that last chord we put in? B flat minor. Okay. By the way, this works with other tonality and all of that. So if you feel more comfortable using something like that. I'm gonna add this one in, and then I like to go try that. All right, so we'll put that in, and then what we'll do is we can put it right, sorry about that, put it right there. So let's see what that sounds like. We just added that in. And then what you can do is, if you hold this one down, you can see all the notes that are in it, right? And then you could, I know you can adjust, I didn't mean to adjust the length. I was going to adjust the chance, or even say, okay, I only want it to play one more. Yeah, I want it to play on the second bar, second time around. So it'll play on the 8th playthrough. If that makes sense. There's 4 bars here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is gonna play on that one. Okay, so watch. Let's do it. So you won't hear it on this first time around. Just gonna play this one. Now it'll play on this time. It will play it. So that's how you can take this little one looking section here and make it 8 bars basically. And that's all you got to do. So it's kind of fun that you could, and by the way, like I said, you can do this with tonality if you prefer to use that. But this is probably the method I would use in here, because I still prefer playing in chords. Drums, I don't mind, because I'm not a drummer anyway. Sometimes I can come up with cool rhythms using things like this, but when it comes to chords and things of that nature, I prefer to play them. But it's kind of nice that I could just have one sequencer, 16 tracks, get my sequencing done for whatever I want to sequence, throw it in the SP, and then build tracks like the one I did in the previous video. You guys can take a look at it. That's it for this video. That's all I really know at this moment with regards to this. So yeah, it's a learning process. He does have some videos out there, tutorials on how to use it, although his hat gets in the way a lot of times. That is a pretty cool hat though, but still it gets in the way of the view on the picture, so he kind of needs to record some more videos or have somebody else demo it that doesn't have a big brim hat, you know. Anyway, all right. So until the next one, I'm out.